Casting of special programs, sponsored content, sports and entertainment, and advertising for small, medium, and large enterprises. All services for Topstar 474, Kriye 007, GoTV on channel 807, Azam on channel 386, and live streams on our YouTube and Facebook platforms. You can find us in Area 2 Lilongwe or can reach us on 0883-815-055. Come, let us help you grow your business.
Glad you could join us for 7:30 News Bulletin. My name is Fales Chizombe. The top stories. Pope Leo XIV meets his closest collaborators for the exchange of traditional Christmas greetings. Vice President's office denies the circulating UK trip budget, calls documents fake. CDED calls on DPP to break away from past governance practices. And in other news, Nigeria says it will increase security around schools as it welcomes back abducted students. We have more stories coming up. Do stay with us. Pope Leo XIV met with his closest collaborators in the Roman Curia for the traditional exchange of Christmas greetings, calling on them to live their service in a spirit of mission and communion and to become a sign of peace in a world marked by conflict, division, and aggression. Pope Leo first recalled his beloved predecessor, Pope Francis, whose prophetic voice, pastoral style, and rich magisterium, he said, have deeply marked the Church in recent years. We have a Vatican News report read by Patrick Popper.
Pope Leo noted that Francis encouraged the Church to place God's message at the center, to renew evangelization, and to be a joyful church, welcome to all and attentive to the poorest. Drawing inspiration from the apostolic evangeli, Pope Leo highlighted mission as a fundamental dimension of the Church's life. By her very nature, he said the Church is outward-looking and missionary, reflecting God's own initiative in ongoing out to humanity in Christ. This missionary dimension, the Pope explained, must serve as a criterion of discernment for ecclesial life and for the work of Roman Curia. Structures and offices, he said, should not weigh down or slow the progress of the gospel, but instead be made more mission-oriented at the service of particular churches and their pastors. Pope Leo went on to stress the close link between mission and communion, of which communion founded on mutual love and solidarity. He said it is an urgent task both within the church and in her relationship with the world, and it always calls for personal and communal conversion. He warned against rigidity and ideological attitudes in matters of faith, liturgy, and morality, urging instead the cultivation of authentic relationships. He said the Curia can become a prophetic sign of peace in a world fractured by divisions, often fueled by politics and the digital sphere. In concluding, the Pope reflected on the Jubilee year dedicated to hope, now nearing its end. He recalled the commemorations of the Council of Nicaea and the Second Vatican Council, which reaffirmed the foundations of faith in Christ and renewed the Church mission to engage the modern world with compassion and attentiveness. Pope Leo also recalled the 15th anniversary of Evangeli, emphasizing that the first means of evangelization is the witness of an authentically Christian life lived in communion and generous service. As is customary, the audience concluded with the gift of book and the Pope's prayer that the Lord may grant his light and peace to the world.
Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Lilongwe, Most Reverend George Desmond Tambala, has urged Malawians to approach Christmas and the end of 2025 with renewed hope, deep reflection and gratitude, despite the many challenges faced during the year. In his 2025 Christmas message, Archbishop Tambala has said the celebration of Christ's birth should remind believers of God's faithfulness in difficult moments, drawing lessons from three biblical figures, Zacharias and Joseph and the Blessed Virgin Mary. Twandu Nzumara has filed this report.
According to Archbishop Tambala, Zechariah's story, receiving the promise of a child in old age, offers encouragement to those who may feel discouraged or defeated by past failures, and it reminds Christians that God can bring new possibilities even in situations that appear hopeless. He then reflected on St. Joseph's struggle to understand Mary's pregnancy, noting that Joseph's obedience teaches believers how to respond to mysteries and challenges that they do not fully comprehend. He said Malawians, both as individuals and as a nation, continue to face situations that demand patience, faith, and trust in God. Turning to the Blessed Virgin Mary, Archbishop Tambala highlighted the Magnificat as a call to thanksgiving. He encouraged Christians to thank God for the blessings of 2025, including family, faith communities, priests, and religious, even amid economic hardship and uncertainty. Archbishop Tambala concluded by encouraging families to use the Christmas season as a time for unity, conversion, and prayer, urging believers to face the new year with hope and trust in God's guidance.
2025, in spite of many problems we may have encountered, is a big Magnificat. It's a time to give thanks to the Lord. Count your blessings, and as Archdiocese of Lilongwe, we are also counting our blessings in terms of the parishes that we have, all the faithful that are part of the church, our priests, our religious, and also we pray for our country. We are in a country that all of us are participating in, and whatever has also happened in the country, for us is a sign time to give thanks to God.
Archbishop Tambala has since called on Malawians to pray for the country, especially as it looks towards the coming year, expressing hope for good harvests and national prosperity, saying signs in the fields give reason for optimism. For Christians, Christmas means celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ, the Son of God, who came into the world to bring salvation, hope, love, and peace. It is a time to reflect on God's gift, deepen faith, give thanks, and live out Christ's teachings in daily life. For Luntha News, this is Twandu Nzumara.
Salesian Sisters Project Coordinator Sister Teresa Mlenga has urged women in Mlale, Lilongwe to use cooking and other life skills acquired under the Little Way project to improve household nutrition and earn a living. She made the remarks during cooking demonstrations for beneficiaries of the Little Way project aimed at equipping women with practical skills to improve food security and self-reliance among households in the area. Charity Shiranga has filed this report.
Sister Mlenga said the Talesian sisters are implementing the Little Way project in Mlale to empower surrounding communities by improving nutrition, raising literacy levels and addressing food insecurity. She explained that the project includes the raising of layer chickens which are provided to selected households to improve nutrition for children and families, in which beneficiaries contribute a bag of maize used for feed, after which they receive chickens and enough feed to last for at least 1 year. Sister Mlenga added that the initiative also offers adult literacy lessons for elders and early childhood education for children to ensure holistic development within households. She further said women are being equipped with skills such as sewing and cookery demonstrations, enabling them to prepare food items like samosas, cakes and fritters, which can be sold to generate income and improve livelihoods.
So among other things, we are raising layers, chickens, and these chickens are also being provided to the villages around so that the people can also do the same with the aim of improving the nutrition, starting with the children, but also with the family at large. And to do that, they are supposed to contribute bags of maize, which is used for providing feed. So what we are doing is that after they provide the maize, we also give them back the chickens as well as the feed, which they can use to feed the chickens for at least 1 full year.
One of the beneficiaries, Christina Kalima from Group Village Head Ishadabwa, said the cooking skills she has acquired will help her earn income by selling food items at schools, weddings and other social events. The Little Way project, which started in November 2024, is targeted 100 households with selection based on willingness and readiness to meet agreed group contributions.
The office of the Vice President has dismissed as fake and misleading documents circulating on social media that allegedly show the budget for the Vice President's official trip to the United Kingdom. In a statement, the office's Communications and Public Relations Officer, Richard Mvelwa, said the documents did not originate from any government institution and do not reflect official records or approved government expenditure. Mvelwa urged the public to exercise caution and rely only on information released through official government communication channels. He added that the Office of the Vice President remains committed to transparency, accountability, and the responsible use of public resources, while strongly condemning the deliberate spread of false information intended to mislead the public. You are still watching news on Luntha television with me, Fales Chizombe. Another look at our top stories before we proceed. Pope Leo XIV meets his closest collaborators for the exchange of traditional Christmas greetings. Vice President's office denies the circulating UK trip budget, calls documents fake. Seeded calls on DPP to break away from past governance practices. And in other news, Nigeria says it will increase security around schools as it welcomes back abducted students. Moving forward, Political analyst Jimwemwe Tsitsi says while the Malawi government has shown some commitment to austerity measures such as cutting official travel and fuel allocations, recent high-cost trips, including the vice president's private journey, reportedly costing nearly 2 billion kwacha, raise concern about inconsistent implementation. Meanwhile, economic expert Happy Chira has urged that while austerity is necessary, government spending should still prioritize activities that stimulate economic growth, achieve key policy objectives, and improve microeconomic performance. The experts were reacting to growing public concern over the Vice President's costly private trip, which has reignited debate on government spending and fiscal discipline. Gift Kalonga has more in this report.
Tsitsi has noted partial implementation of some austerity measures, highlighting that certain trips by government officials have been cancelled and there have been announcements of fuel cuts for some officers. He has, however, expressed concern over recent developments that seemed contrary to the austerity stance, particularly the Vice President's private trip, with a number of delegates reportedly costing almost 2 billion kwacha, noting that this raised questions given that the government had been promoting austerity, including reducing foreign trips for officials.
There are also some worries, some developments that seem to be contrary to that standpoint or to that stance of the austerity measures. And just recently, I think in the public domain, people are discussing the issue of the Vice President's private trip with a number of delegates, and also amounting to almost 2 billion kwacha, and that coming against the background that it is being said to be a private trip, and at the same time, at the time we are talking of austerity measures, including reducing foreign trips for government officials. So I would say it is a mix. Some commitment has been demonstrated, but there are still some areas that may require improvement.
Economic expert Happy Chirwa said that the philosophy behind austerity measures is based on the fact that a government has limited income but many needs to meet. He explained that when resources are insufficient to meet all societal needs, the government must find ways to achieve key goals within their available resources by controlling spending and prioritizing essential services. Chirwa added that while some people expect all government spending to stop, this is unrealistic because operations and services still require funding. He noted that the current government is trying to fix the economy by reducing expenses, including cutting the president's foreign and local trips, stopping the purchase of new vehicles for officials, and banning meetings in hotels in favor of using technology. He also said the reduction of president's travel, which has dropped by 83% compared to the previous regime, is a major austerity measure.
Yeah, the meaning is simple. We will not really go to define the term, but the concept behind or the philosophy behind it is on the part of the government or states or any authority, assembly or whatever. You have got the income that you have and you have got expenditures. So you see that the needs and wants in terms of provision of services and the other needs that people are looking for in the society are more than the resources that you have. But however, you are interested to meet those resources, and your basket is not enough. So in that particular case, you try to come up with a number of ways of making sure that some of the intended goals or objectives should be achieved within inadequate resources that you have.
President Peter Mutharika introduced austerity measures in November 2025 in response to Malawi's economic challenges, including cuts to official travel, fuel entitlements, and meetings, as well as hiring freezes to manage limited resources and stabilize public finances. For Luntha News, this is Gift Kalonga.
The Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiative (CDED) has urged the Democratic Progressive Party (DPP) administration to govern the country differently from the previous Malawi Congress Party government. CDED made the remarks during a press briefing held on Tuesday in Lilongwe, where the organization expressed concern over emerging governance trends under the current administration. According to CDED Executive Director Sylvester Namiwa, Malawians voted on September 16th with the expectations that the DPP would rescue citizens from the economic hardships that had engulfed the country, but the organization is surprised that some individuals within the current government are allegedly engaging in practices similar to those that Malawians rejected under the previous administration. Emmanuel Chocha with the details.
Speaking during the press briefing, Namiwa noted that as the country approaches the festive season and the new year, it is time for the DPP leadership to conduct serious soul-searching on how it is managing day-to-day government operations. He further highlighted alleged corruption malpractices at the National Oil Company of Malawi, NOCMA, saying it is high time President Professor Peter Mutharika took decisive action to address the situation. Namiwa also criticized what he described as a wasteful public spending, citing Vice President Justice Jane Ansah's planned trip to the United Kingdom and Ireland, which CDED claims cost taxpayers about 2 billion kwacha at a time when the country is facing serious economic challenges.
It goes against the principles of austerity measures. It runs counter to that. However, as a credible organization, we believe in getting both sides of the story. We are promising Malawians that we will engage the Vice President, Dr. Jane Ansah, so much that we should have a clear position. Nonetheless, we are happy that Malawians have taken accountability to another level. This is the only way we can get value for our vote. However, we are worried that the same energy we have invested in following the money in the UK trip, we should use the same, we should channel the same energy in following up the 30 hectares that were given to a foreign national, an Israeli national, at Kamuzu International Airport. Apart from the 30 hectares of prime land, we also gave them $5 million. At the same time, Malawians may wish to know that we are not getting any dividend from the deal with the Malawi Airlines.
CDED has since reaffirmed its commitment to work for the betterment of Malawians by promoting accountability among politicians and public officials, urging citizens to make use of the organization's newly introduced toll-free line to report governance and service delivery concerns. For Luntha News, in Lilongwe, this is Emmanuel Chocha.
Women and youth engaged in artisanal mining have increasingly returned to gold mining as an alternative source of income following the gemstone export ban imposed in February 2025. Speaking during a visit to Tagula Gold Processing Limited in Njewa, Lilongwe, Federation of Women and Youth in Mining President Flori Annie Kamanga said the shift is part of a broader initiative aimed at cautioning miners from the economic impact of the ban while promoting sustainable livelihoods. Kamanga explained that the initiative prioritizes awareness, registration and licensing of artisanal miners to ensure their operations are formalized and conducted responsibly in line with national mining regulations. Bridget Manuka has filed this report.
Kamanga clarified that gold produced by registered artisanal miners is sold locally to the Reserve Bank of Malawi through the Export Development Fund, a move she said enhances transparency curbs smuggling, and ensures miners benefit from fair market prices. She then called for increased and sustained investment in the sector, describing it as a critical pillar of the country's economic growth. Kamanga also cited inadequate financial support, along with limited access to technology and essential resources, as some of the major challenges affecting their operations across the country.
From the initiative, we have realized that there's need for quite a lot of equipment to be used that will need financial capacity. So we are actually trying to convince the financiers like commercial banks, NGO to come to our rescue. But they can only come when we formalize ourselves by actually being licensed.
A nurse at Kasungu Hospital and a member of Shama Mining Company, Grace Nguluwe, says women miners lack the financial muscle needed to acquire equipment and hire manpower.
It is very much important for us women and the youth to be involved in the mining. To me, I feel like this is the simplest and easiest way of empowering the youth and women financially. Because from a short period of time that I've learned, I feel like I can call it's easy money, though there are some challenges that are met, but you can be empowered financially in a short period of time. So for a woman is able to stand on her own, and even for a youth, I think is also able to stand on their own. They can make up their plans for their future and for their families.
Despite the challenges, women miners are hopeful that formalized gold mining will help sustain their livelihoods while the gemstone export ban remains in place. A total of 81 representatives drawn from various mining entities, including Limbigani Mining Limited of Lilongwe, Golden Elite Company Limited from Dowa District, Beyond Barriers of Kasongo District, Amazing Grace of Lilongwe, Gift Given from Mzuzu, and Tutende Mining, among others, paid a visit to Takula Gold Processing Limited. Bridget Mwanoka, Luntha News.
In international news, the governor of Nigeria's Niger State on Monday held a ceremony to welcome back 130 kidnapped children and teachers who were released after spending a month in captivity, bringing relief to families and renewing debate about insecurity in the country's schools. The victims were abducted from a Catholic boarding school in the Papili community, an incident that ranked among the worst mass kidnapping in Nigeria's history and highlighted the growing threat to educational institutions in the country. No group has claimed responsibility for the abduction, but residents say armed criminal gangs, commonly referred to as bandits, were behind the attack, with kidnappings for ransom remaining a key source of income for such groups. We have an African News report read by Patrick Popper.
School abduction have increasingly come to define insecurity in Africa's most populous nation, forcing authorities to close schools in some regions and leaving thousands of children out of classrooms. In response, Nigerian authorities say they are strengthening security around schools, particularly in high-risk areas. Adam Laka, National Coordinator of Nigeria's Counter-Terrorism Center, said immediate protective measures were being rolled out alongside long-term community-based security solutions. On Monday, Adam Laka said they are implementing immediate short-term protective measures in high-risk areas while concurrently working with state governments, traditional and religious leaders to develop lasting community-based security solutions for education. He added that education must not become a casualty to violence, stressing that authorities would continue efforts to restore confidence, safely open schools, and uphold every child's right to learn in a secure environment. Officials declined to say whether ransoms were paid to secure the release. Niger State Governor Muhammad Umar Bago told reporters that the priority was the safe return of the victims, most of whom were aged between 10 and 17, and said they are expected to be reunited with their families before Christmas.
That item concludes our today's news bulletin. Before we go, another look at our top stories. Pope Leo XIV meets his closest collaborators for the exchange of traditional Christmas greetings. Vice President's office denies the circulating UK trip budget, calls documents fake. CDED calls on DPP to break away from past governance practices. And in other news, Nigeria says it will increase security around schools as it welcomes back abducted students. On behalf of the entire newsroom, I've been Fales Chizombe. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to tune in for the rest of our programs here on Luntha Television. Stay safe and goodbye.
Luntha Television stands as an autonomous faith-based broadcaster with a national and international reach. Experience the difference with Luntha Television, where innovation meets experience. Our dedicated team, backed by cutting-edge technology, ensures seamless execution and unparalleled results. Luntha guarantees credibility and professionalism in all its endeavors and services. We offer, among this, production and broadcasting of jingles, music videos, narratives, documentaries, press services and programs on location or outside, live broadcasting of mass and other church functions, government or indoor functions, and political rallies, creation and broadcasting of special programs, sponsored content, sports and entertainment, and advertising for small, medium and large enterprises. All services are offered at competitive prices. Tune in daily to catch Luntha Television on Zuko on Channel 51, Starsat Channel 474, Star Times Channel 474, Topstar 474.